Imagine being caught in a downpour without an umbrella. You're drenched, cold, and all you can think about is how miserable you are. Then you step into a warm, dry place, and suddenly, your perspective changes. You're still wet, yes, but now you're also grateful for the shelter. That's the power of thankfulness. As Charles Spurgeon once said, "It is not how much we have, but how much we enjoy that makes happiness." This sentiment resonates in our hearts as we realize that thankfulness changes our perspective and can transform a negative experience into a positive one. We are reminded of the biblical figure Job, who gave thanks not just when he was things, but also when those things were taken away. Many people give thanks to God when he gives. Job gave thanks when he took. This is the profound depth of gratitude, the kind that produces deep, abiding joy because we know that God is working in us, even through difficulties. Today we delve into the topic of thankfulness as per the Christian faith. What does the Bible say about it? How does it shape the lives of Christians? Let's hear it from them. "Being thankful is a big part of my Christian faith," says Martha, a devout Christian from Texas. In the book of Thessalonians, it says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." It's a reminder for me to be thankful, even when times are tough. John, a pastor from North Carolina, shares a similar sentiment. The Bible is filled with verses that encourage thankfulness. Like in Psalms, it says, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name." It's a call to express our gratitude to God for his goodness. Indeed, thankfulness is a recurring theme in the Bible, and it's more than just an emotion. It's a way of life, a practice that Christians engage in daily. Every morning before I start my day, I list down 5 things I'm grateful for, shares Sarah, a Christian mom from Ohio. It's a simple practice, but it sets the tone for my day. It reminds me of God's blessings and fills me with positivity. Thankfulness, as per the Bible, is also a form of worship. It's acknowledging God's goodness and expressing gratitude for his blessings. It's a way of connecting with God on a deeper level and strengthening one's faith. As we've heard from our Christian friends, thankfulness is a cornerstone of their faith. It's a practice that enriches their lives, strengthens their relationship with God, and brings them peace and joy. And so, we leave you with this inspiring quote by Helen Keller. "Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. May we all find the strength to be thankful, even in the midst of our storms, and may our thankfulness light the way for others." Let's hear some powerful quotes on thankfulness from renowned Christian authors and speakers. These words of wisdom have inspired millions, and we hope they'll inspire you too. First is a quote that reminds us of the power of gratitude. "God is glorified by a thankful heart." This simple yet profound statement reminds us that our gratitude can be a form of worship, a way to honor and recognize the greatness of God. Next, Jerry Bridges once said, "Thankfulness to God is a recognition that God in his goodness and faithfulness has provided for us and cared for us, both physically and spiritually. It is a recognition that we are totally dependent upon him, that all that we are and have comes from God." This quote reminds us that everything we have is a gift from God, and being thankful is our way of acknowledging his goodness and faithfulness. Charles Spurgeon, a well-respected preacher, once said, "That man is truly happy who can say of all his substances, be it little or be it much, the Lord gave it to me." This quote reminds us that our happiness is not dependent on the amount we have, but on our attitude of gratitude. Another quote that resonates with many is, "Gratitude is our ability to see the grace of God, morning by morning, no matter what else greets us in the course of the day." This quote reminds us to look for God's grace in every circumstance, and to be thankful for it. R.C. Sproul, a respected theologian, once said, "God doesn't want us to just feel gratitude, but for us to show it by giving thanks to God with our lives." This quote challenges us to live out our gratitude, to let it influence our actions and attitudes. Finally, A.W. Tozer, a renowned author and pastor, said, "Gratitude is an offering precious in the sight of God, and it is one that the poorest of us can make, and be not poorer but richer for having made it." This quote reminds us that gratitude is a gift we can all give, regardless of our circumstances. These quotes remind us of the power and importance of thankfulness in our lives. They challenge us to be thankful in all circumstances and to let our gratitude be a form of worship and acknowledgement of God's goodness and faithfulness. Let's delve deeper into the wisdom of renowned Christian authors and speakers. Their profound insights on thankfulness provide us with valuable perspectives on how to live a grateful life. The first quote is by Corrie ten Boom, a Dutch watchmaker who became a heroine of the resistance, a survivor of Hitler's concentration camps, and one of the most remarkable evangelists of the 20th century. She said, "I have held many things in my hands, and I have lost them all. But whatever I have placed in God's hands, that I still possess." This quote reminds us that when we surrender everything to God, we gain more than we could ever lose. The next quote is by J.I. Packer, a respected theologian and author. He said, "We need to discover all over again that worship is natural to the Christian, as it was to the godly Israelites who wrote the Psalms, and that the habit of celebrating the greatness and graciousness of God yields an endless flow of thankfulness, joy, and zeal." This quote encourages us to find joy and gratitude in worship, acknowledging the greatness and graciousness of God in our lives. Lastly, we have a quote from John MacArthur, a well-known pastor and author. He said, "A thankful heart is one of the primary identifying characteristics of a believer. It stands in stark contrast to pride, selfishness, and worry. And it helps fortify the believer's trust in the Lord and reliance on His provision, even in the toughest times. No matter how choppy the seas become, a believer's heart is buoyed by constant praise and gratefulness to the Lord." This quote emphasizes the importance of a thankful heart, even in challenging times, as a testament to our faith and reliance on God's provision. These powerful words remind us of the importance of thankfulness in our lives and the lives of believers. They challenge us to cultivate a heart of gratitude, to surrender our worries and possessions to God, and to find joy in worship and praise. In the next scene, we will explore practical ways to cultivate a habit of thankfulness in our daily lives.